Hello again, thanks for joining. So I don't often do American stuff, but you'll know if you watch this channel regularly that they do pop up every now and again, and I do have a few models in my collection. This is a selection of 3 different models. We have 2 from IHC and 1 from Con-Cor. So we're going to compare the differences between these manufacturers. So from IHC, we have a Louisville and Nashville baggage car in the silver, and we also have a United States mail van, also from Louisiana and Nashville. They're both in the Premier series from IHC, and the other model we have here is from Con-Cor, and it's a Santa Fe carriage in the stainless steel as well. So from International Hobby Corp, this is number 47880, the baggage car with the corrugated sides, and it's from their Premier series like I mentioned already. The other IHC model is this blue one. It's number 49395 and it's the BPO and it says heavyweight. You can see that this cost £10. And finally the Santa Fe coach from Con-Cor. Now this does have something rattling about inside it, so it might need a bit of a repair. This is a much longer box and the part number there is 1000702. It says ready to run corrugated side Santa Fe coach. It's the 85-foot one. So here it's talking about the 30-year anniversary of Con-Cor. It's from 1962 to 1992, which might give you an idea of when this model came out. Also here you can see that Con-Cor is in Illinois in America, but it does say the box is printed in Hong Kong and the contents marked as country of origin, so I'm guessing it's going to be Hong Kong or China. This box does look wonderfully retro. It's got some really cool photographs and graphics on the back showing other models you can get in the Con-Cor range, and it also details about some construction kits as well. So without further ado, let's get this open and we'll check it out. So here is the model, and it is actually feeling like a bit of a budget model. Got some obvious moulding marks like here on the roof there, and right in the middle it's got a bit of an indent. So the plastic isn't being moulded very well. Unfortunately, this has also got a weight rattling about inside of it. So we're going to try and get this open and see if we can refit the weight. It looks as though these clips just hold it together going by what I can see underneath. And you can also see made in China there, so I wasn't wrong in guessing this was a Chinese made model. Anyway, let's get this open first and then we'll do the repair and then we can have a look at it a bit closer up. So this coach is made of 2 pieces. The roof here is also the windows and it's been painted silver on the top. You can see that it's clear for the rest of it, and these clips go through the bottom part and just hold it together. It's a bit of a faff to get this apart actually. And here is the main part of the moulding, and it's got a couple of weights glued into the bottom of it. It's a fairly simple model, and I actually think these plastics are quite bad. They seem to just bend very easily, so it's not a very sturdy model, this one, that's for sure. The metal weights which were rolling around, and it looks as though these weights screw into the bogies, so I'm not sure how one of these managed to come off, but nevertheless it has done. So let's just get these screwed back together and then we can do a bit of a closer review of this model. Okay, so we're back together, and I think as I've been handling this I've come to realise that this is actually a bit of a poor model. It doesn't really have a lot of detail on it, and I think although that might be prototypical, it's not really working that well with this model. It does have some nice printing on the Santa Fe and the number in the middle, and I do like the stainless steel effect on it, but it is a pretty poor model. It doesn't have any interior and it's got very little detail on it whatsoever. Even the bogies are pretty plain, and the wheels are plastic with metal axles. We have these couplings hanging out the front. I think they're bespoke to this model. And also you saw how the bogies are just screwed into those metal blocks, which obviously they just fall out over time, because that's what's happened to this one, I guess. Underneath there's not much detail either. You can see a few scratches. That actually wasn't me, so maybe somebody's taken this apart before. Because it was a second-hand model, there is a fair degree of representation of brake gear and piping underneath this model. But overall, I think this is actually a pretty poor model of a coach. So I'm going to put it to one side and we'll check out one of the IHC ones. So as we were just looking at a stainless steel model, let's have a look at this baggage car, which should be a good like for like with the Santa Fe one. So let's get this open. This model has come with an instruction sheet. It's talking here about a lighting kit that you can get for this model, or you can also get some interiors and the gangway and also some metal wheels. So I guess you can customize this and make it a bit more personal to you and also add some extra details. I can see straight away that we have a problem here with the coupling. It looks as though it's just hanging on by a bit of glue, and they should be in NEM pockets, but it looks as though they probably had different couplings on at some point in the past, and the previous owner has cut these off. I did get these second hand and added these KD couplings, and this one's loose. The other side is secure throw, so I'm just going to put a bit of glue on this and glue it back together before it completely falls off. So I'd say this is pretty much the same as the first one. Even though it's a different company, it's still made in China, and for all intents and purposes I think it's probably the same manufacturer. I wouldn't be at all surprised if it was just a rebranding job. We do have a much more detailed little gangway door here with some nice details on it like the little studs and the railings. But aside from that, there's no other extra parts added onto this. This is a one-piece moulding and it's quite plain as well. It is held on exactly the same way with the glazing and the roof, just clipping through into the chassis there. And underneath we have some details, not too bad actually, some nice rivet detail, bits of details on these tanks and boxes and the brake gear there. The bogies are held on the same way with a screw. It's not central either, but I guess that's to help this get round tight corners. And the bogies, I think, are actually a little bit better than previous ones. The brake gear especially is in line with the wheels. And we do have plastic wheels, but they do actually have a metal axle on them as well. But we saw in the instructions we could swap these out for metal wheels if we wanted. So it's very similar, this one. The printing is also really good, but overall it does feel like a really cheap model. So let's get the other one out and we'll have a look at the post office van. So it has the same instruction sheet as we saw in the last model. However, this one does say it has application of detail parts for the heavyweight passenger cars, and you can see that we have some handrails and steps that are extra pieces added in. And it's certainly evident on the model that there are extra pieces. You can see that right here. It's got some railings and handrails, and we've got a brake wheel here, and this is an extra piece as well, the gangway. So it does have a bit more going for it, but it still feels a bit plasticky and a bit rubbish, this. The top has obviously worn away a little bit over time. It seems to be that the packaging is causing these problems. But the printing is really good. It's very clear. It's yellow on blue, and yellow is a difficult colour to get right, but it seems to be done okay here. However, over the windows it does suffer a little bit from being a bit crudely applied. This time we have 3 axles per bogie, and there's a lot of detail on those bogies, much more so than the silver carriages that we just saw. And this one as well has had couplings very crudely added onto them. We've got some nice bracing on the bottom of this carriage, but we do see things like this, which is holding the roof on. Again, it's the same old windows and roof as one piece. It's added onto the bottom part. So this one's not too bad. It does feel pretty light though, but it's still not really a good quality model. And even as a budget model, it's certainly lacking a little bit. Anyway, let's put each of these on the scales and we'll see how much they weigh. So the postal wagon weighs 122 grams. The silver baggage car is 114. Santa Fe coach from Con-Cor is 149. So this collection of American coaches, I think all of them are a bit rubbish. The front one here is Con-Cor. It rolls the best out of the 3, but it's lacking in detail. It doesn't really have anything going for it, and it's a very basic model, I think. The baggage car here from IHC, it doesn't even roll that well. I think it might have the wrong wheels on it or something. I don't know what's going on there, but I do like the fact that these gangways are a little bit better than the other carriage. But overall it's still pretty poor. The postal wagon is definitely the best out of the 3, but even saying that, it's pretty poor. I like the extra pieces being put onto it. Printing isn't really good, and also there's massive gaps between the body and the bogies, even though the bogies are actually quite good and nicely detailed. So overall, I actually wouldn't recommend any of these. If you're looking for American style coaches to go on your layout, I don't think these are it, unless they were super cheap and you were just running them in the background. And even that said, I think this baggage car will cause you problems because the wheels are a bit knackered. That might just be on this particular one, might not be indicative of all of them. But overall, I think these are pretty poor models. But what do you think about these? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts. I'll put the baggage car on the turntable so you can see all the way around. And another icon will appear in a moment. Just click on that and I'll see you there. But thanks for watching this one. See ya.
So model train, model works, choo choo, model train.